is Momo. Um, so without further ado, uh, Brian, if you're ready, we can go ahead and just push over to that match, huh?
Yeah, let's make our way over to that table and get a feel for what these decks are going to be doing. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of walling, I'm sure. One of the best things about Midoriya too is, of course, the ramp nature of the character. This guy is able to find
You guys
so
can
many
start.
so many foundations so fast, and a lot of people in set two actually we're kind of really hot on like some rogue Midoriya 2 builds simply because they thought that it might have the ability to try and outramp Momo, right?
What is the over under of Tetsu thrashing being in this Midoriya deck?
Tetsu thrashing. I mean, yeah, that probably is the question. I would love to hear you talk about that a little more because I think that's something that is either super on people's radar with this character or completely outside of the radar on this character.
Totally. Sorry, I was trying to do production stuff.
Oh,
Yay! I mean, the only way that I want to play Midoriya is with Tetsu thrashing. That's it. That's all I want to play. I think thrashing is such a cool card. Um, do you see Midoriya's little hand counter?
I do. He's got a teeny tiny little Midoriya to rest on top of his hand when it's not in play, which is super cool. I
What a
think
real
some
fanboy.
a huge fanboy here. This guy is out here. This guy is the main character, right? This guy just is the main character. Um, some other really cool noteworthy things on Midoriya's board that I want to look at before we actually get into this exciting game is this mat. This mat is covered in signatures that I think you and I might actually be a little familiar with, Tim.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I definitely remember signing this mat.
We definitely signed this mat at nationals. That's
Look,
me in the top right corner. You can see my big AG in the Ochako area.
I'm on Deku's right left cheek.
Oh, I love it. I think I see
Yeah.
Jellyfish Guy as well in the top left by Bakugo.
Wowzers, wowzers. Speaking of fanboy,
Super cool. Yeah, super cool. This guy has assembled the entirety almost of the production team on this playmat right here.
how
But
amazing.
let's talk about what he's doing on this playmat for a little bit.
Sure. Back alley haymaker, one of the pinnacle cards. 4 mid 5, stun 2, EX2, draw a card or build. There's not a bad word or number on this card. The best opener in the entire game. I'd be surprised if we didn't see playsets of this card in both of these players' decks.
Yeah, 100%. This has just been one of those cards that really came out swinging in set two and has just stood the test of time. There's so much back alley haymaker in the format, and I'm kind of excited to see what they do here. Aside from that, though, I mean, it looks like we've got so this is Midoriya, and he's doing a lot of his Midoriya things right now, and I think so for the most part, what are like the key things going on with this character is a lot of the building, right? Midoriya builds. He's got a lot of foundations that build. We're seeing the male bonding. The back alley haymaker is building. We've very much got a theme going on here, and I'm eager to see if he can outramp the resource monster that is Momo.
Yeah, that is the big question, right? I think it's going to be a lot of this turn in particular is going to be important. Um, 8 mid for 8 with a couple of resources being spent here. Discarding a card for Midoriya, committing a couple resources that we got to build in for free. This is feeling really good, even if it is just like as Midoriya, we're trying to force Momo to get rid of these resources. Going from a 5 build down to a 3 build, forcing these foundations to be destroyed, is a win in our book.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, one of the big things, right, about fighting a character like Momo is you've got to put pressure on her early, or she's just going to get way too much stabilization going on. You're probably not going to deal damage, but you do have to start breaking through her stage, right, making her use up her releases and her on face enhance to actually start eating through her stage, progressing the game state in a slightly different way.
This is absolutely huge. So we got a Texas Smash coming down. It's currently a 4 high for 7, becomes a 5 high for 10 in Midoriya.
Yeah.
If we have another Texas Smash, we're presenting lethal if we can't do anything about this.
Yeah, this is Midoriya coming out swinging. I mean, we were talking about putting the pressure on Momo early. This is real hardcore stuff going on here.
Yeah, 100%. The question is do we sell out, right? Do we start discarding our hand in order to make these moves happen? We've only played 2 cards out of our card pool, or 2 cards out of our hand. We've discarded 2 cards. We're essentially a 4 hand size character. If we play another move, discard another card, we do have Passing Torch to refill our hand, but it's 2 random cards off the top.
Right. It's also going to
Oh,
come down to
wow.
our checks, right? Passing Torch is going to refill our hand, but only if we can check properly on this attack.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like we've discarded for +4 to the next one. We could be seeing lethal here. There's no reason not to do that enhance unless there is a another attack coming.
Yeah. I mean, in the world where, ooh, this is on a checks a 5/6. Yeah, that's a full block.
Beautiful.
But we're pretty wide open now, though. So if we can gem another move here, oh my
Love the
goodness.
jab here.
Beautiful check here. This is going to be so huge to let us start rebuilding our stage and replenish our hand and just, I mean, be a 9 damage move at base value. This is crazy.
Yeah, 12 if we want it to be with Midoriya, right? We commit the Passing the Torch, draw my 2 cards, get to ready one with excuse me, get to build one with Hardened Jab. You know,
Mhm.
build one, attempt to lift one. Don't have a face down. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the power of hardened jab, right? One of the biggest, we've been talking about so much about ramping, right? Ramping and assembling a stage so hard. This is one that's going to get us there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people might be seeing that like this is essentially a season 1, season 2 All Might 3 deck, right? But now I think people are realizing the power and they know how to fight the All Might 3 deck of, I'm just going to get rid of my entire hand. Well, Midoriya is super down for you to get rid of your entire hand because it's not your hand that does stuff, it's his hand.
Hmm. So it looks like we've done our Momo once per turn. We're gonna go through and pick up this home run comet, which should allow us to perfect block this hardened jab, but at the cost of so many of our resources, right? I mean, we've got 2 foundations in our stage now as Momo. Yep. So that
Beautiful.
block, yeah, that block couldn't fail. But again, we have dealt a decent chunk of damage to Momo, and also absolutely ripped apart her stage. And now we just get to continue to roll 5s here, like the absolute protagonist that our boy Charles is. And now, like, despite using up his entire hand, not be in a very vulnerable position.
Yeah, let's talk about what actually happened in that turn, right? If we
A
talk about
lot.
the beginning and the end of that turn, right? We slung 3 attacks, we discarded 4 cards, we built 3 foundations, and we put Momo to almost single digits. Yes, we don't have a hand, but with Momo and Momo destroyed 3 foundations.
Yeah,
This
that's the
is
big thing, right? That's the most
win, win,
most
win,
important.
win for Midoriya.
Yeah, and I mean that is kind of some of the more unique aspects that Midoriya provides, like that level of resource control and resource manipulation, to really put you on the back foot. I mean, that's the big thing right now is Momo is extremely on the back foot for this game, and she's gonna have to put out some big efforts to stabilize here, or else Midoriya is just gonna continue to do that until he does not draw attacks. I mean, that's the thing
Sure.
about drawing cards in Midoriya, right? We've got one passing the torch on the board right now. It is only a matter of time until we check another one.
And even if we do aggress, like let's pretend that we swing, right? We've got that male bonding on the board. We're gonna build another resource. Last turn we played 3 attacks, built 4 foundations over the course of a turn cycle. That means we're a 7-hander.
Hmm.
We had a disconnect.
Ooh.
Oh no,
Oh no.
that is a game loss.
Yeah. That is very, very, very
That is
unfortunate
rough,
that is super unfortunate for Charles here. Just
man.
talking about what a fantastic position he had put himself in. Um, but even the super quick disconnect there has to be the game loss.
He wants to look. He wants to
You
see what his next hand is.
Oh
Oh
my goodness.
man.
An absolute slaughterhouse coming in on the next turn there if we
I
would have
don't
made
think
it
you
there.
look there, man. I think that does
No,
so
I
much
think
mental damage.
yeah, I think you're just tilting yourself there, unfortunately. My heart is really, really going out to Charles there for that
Yeah.
disconnect. But such is the nature of the webcam events. You know, they give and they take sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a point of contention since literally the existence of webcam matches. I think that like, uh, speaking as somebody, and I'll say this, I've
Mhm.
never had a disconnect happen in a game, so I am speaking from a point of privilege. I think it is totally fair to say that if there's a disconnect, there's a game loss, and if I ever do disconnect, I'll take that loss. But like if we don't make those kind of rules, then you don't get to have any sort of webcam games at all. And I would rather have strict rules and be allowed to play the game rather than have loosey goosey rules that say that if something nefarious did happen, that it could be easily exploited, you know?
Absolutely. As much as this game is filled, and this community is filled with a plethora of fantastic, aspiring heroes, there are villains out there. And if we don't have these stringent rules enforced, hero society falls apart, and the villains will maintain control over us. So,
That's
unfortunately,
season 7
for
of the show, actually, as they go through the webcam arc.
oh yeah,
Um,
Webcam Nationals is season 7.
yeah,
Sorry guys, spoilers. My bad. My
spoilers.
my bad guys. My bad guys. But so unfortunately for our aspiring young fledgling number 1 here, Charles, he's going to have to pull things out. He's gonna have to pull things out of his hat to score another 2 wins in. But I mean, with as fantastic as a performance he put on just in those couple turns of game 1, I think Charles still has a lot of power left up at his sleeve as long as he doesn't let the unfortunate nature of what just happened get into his mind, like you were saying.
True. Yeah. Getting on tilt is a really quick, really easy way to lose a game. Um, man, this is a
Oh,
rough.
the ready set go into the training. Oh my goodness. Oh,
Wowzers.
oof. Yeah.
Significantly going to be better for Momo, but it doesn't mean that as Midoriya we can't push through this board, right? Um, it's going to be super super tough.
Yeah, it just depends what the rest of Philip's build can look like here, but probably not doing wonders either for the aforementioned mental state. But that is the nature of running into Ready Set Go, right? That is a character that I will run into that card all day every day. But man, when it comes in with the new trainings too, it feels very bad.
I played on stream. I played 5 matches in my 7 hand sized character playing 60 cards. Um, uh, playing 4 copies of that card. I didn't get to trigger it one time.
Wow. Oh
My
yeah.
opponent, not a single opponent respected my ready, get, set, go. And every time they built 4, I didn't have it. Every time they built 3 and then failed their 4th, I had 2 of them. It was so frustrating, man.
Have you considered getting good, Tam? Have you thought
I
about that?
thought about it. But then I was like, this is better content, you know?
True, 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 true. As content creators, it's way more fun if we're bad. Gives people a lot to talk about.
This turn is looking just as good as the last turn. Hitting a solid stun 2. We're starting off nice and easy. Already got a Midori response to build in a second one with nature.
That's
We are
massive. That is.
so with nature.
Oh yeah.
We now
Oh
say
yeah.
that every time we Midoriya, we
Oh
discard a
my
card for
goodness.
+1 speed and +5 damage
Yeah.
because one with nature gets to see the discarded card off of Midoriya.
Yeah, and then we get to discard the enemies necessary for a free stat buff and replacement as well. And our one with natures are going to come in so hard. This is kind of some of that aforementioned tech, right? These new tactics that Midoriya 2 gets to utilize in tandem with things like one with nature to just get so much more, right? To just pack even more value into his discard abilities.
Yeah, this is shaping up to be an absolutely stellar turn. A turn that, like, if we have the cards to, uh, if we have the cards to, pitch with the one of natures, Momo might not actually, even with the glorious stage she has, just might not be able to block anything.
Yeah, it's super correct, Tim. You know, we've only got so many cards as Momo here. We're gonna have to pick our blocks very carefully through this turn because the second that's the thing about Midoriya too, and it kind of has the Midoriya one syndrome as well, especially when we have two one with natures. Is that the second we posture ourselves into a position where we cannot block an attack, Midoriya gets to put all of his resources into a ton of damage pump and just
Yeah.
sock you in the jaw. We do know also that we have the wind up punch because our disinformation success picked it up. So we're gonna have another stun two coming in. So Momo's board is gonna be fairly committed down. Once if we do decide to jam this next move. Oh, what? Hey, checks a 4.
Checks a
With
3
with
actually because of
with.
the breaker 1.
Mhm. Yeah, not the worst case scenario, especially if we have a 0 for back alley to build in. We're going to get to replenish our stage a little bit. Having to pick only one of our resources that we get to keep here is pretty unfortunate. Okay, we did miss the response window for Breaker
Oh,
1, actually. We did not Breaker 1 in time, so we're not going to have Breaker
interesting.
1 come in down. Yeah, I mean, a little sigh of relief I have to imagine coming from Charles, getting a little bit of leverage here. I mean, this is what it means to play at the highest level of competitive play here, right? You miss your response windows, you disconnect from your game, it's a very cutthroat world when we're trying to make it up to nationals and into worlds.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that is the that is the breaks, you know?
That is that is
It's a
that is the
verbal
give and the
game.
take.
You can't assume that people hit and miss things, right? Like it could have been a strategic choice to not make the breaker happen, right? You can't just assume that it always does.
Oh, for sure, for sure. So I mean, I don't know if we have a 0-2 build in here. If we do, it's gonna be very good. We get to have a bit of a safety net to jam the next move on if we so desire. Uh, Although we've broken up our stage quite a bit though, to the point where our wind up punch is not gonna have minus difficulty anymore. We do not have 8 foundations on Momo's side of things.
Correct. Yeah, so this is gonna be on a 7. We have to pretty much commit completely out.
Yeah, looks like we
Showing
don't
us
have
we
the
don't have any
0.
0 diffs in our discard pile. Building was definitely the more optimal play there.
Yeah, for sure. We've got a lot of cards in our hand right now to leverage. On the bright side, though, that means that Midoriya and One with Nature get to put in some work here. We definitely just got a little bit of a glimpse there as well at the third back alley haymaker in Charles's hand.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it. It's very real. It's very much sitting there. I mean, if we just opt to jam this third back alley, things could get really out of hand really fast. Looks like we might have the. So it looks like we already had the Midoriya discard come in. So we've gotten some of our speed back that Momo has taken away from us. It looks like we might be contemplating the One with Nature discard.
Yeah, I think building in this
Yep,
this
there's the One
move
with
was
Nature.
really smart.
Mm-hmm.
This is completely unblockable now. There's no hope to block this move. Even at the 3 mid, right? Us putting a card in our card pool says that we have the +1 progressive. The real question is as Momo or as Midori, do we keep swinging?
I
We have
think.
the
Oh,
defensive tool with uh uh male bonding up. We could just build 1, maybe build 2, and then pass, and then see what the rest of the turn looks like.
yeah, I mean, we got a nice chunk of damage in. I can understand the temptation to want to go for more here because, like, getting a deck like Momo in a vulnerable position there is just so tantalizing, and it really makes you want to get the damage in when you can. But we got a big chunk of damage in on that move. Momo's down to 19. I think it's probably more important that as Charles, we don't put ourselves in a position to give Philip just as much of an opening to get damage in on us. 'Cause Momo is definitely a character that can output a lot of damage out of nowhere.
For sure. And five foundations is really all she needs, right? She's got the five foundations, she's got the asset. At bare minimum, like there's easily like a poke here, right? We give a zero gravity lift,
Mhm.
build a couple foundations, and then
Ooh,
proceed with the rest of the game. But it looks like that is not what's gonna happen. Looks like we're
yeah,
just gonna build.
Philip disagrees. Philip disagrees. We are just
No way,
going
it's
in
build
with
one.
no. Maybe it's a capture net. This could be a capture net play.
Interesting.
This could be a capture net play. Doesn't the posture here though doesn't feel like it. The posture here really doesn't feel like a capture net play. Yeah, there's the new training method come in, and then that's probably gonna have the other rescue come in built. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, passing into Midoriya here with 3 in hand, the Momo once per turn, and a really big board is powerful. We're in a really comfortable position here, even having taken a big move on the chin last turn. I don't think that Philip has too much to fear, but Charles is gonna try to prove him wrong because we've got more back alley haymakers to play.
Yeah, third back alley, and I believe we're at 8 foundations now, correct? Right, let me
Four,
count.
five, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, exactly 8.
This is wind up punch territory. It
It
almost
is.
would have made more sense to open with the wind up punch, just to make it start off cheaper, right?
Yeah, that might have been the way to go here. We have to
Hmm.
imagine that we're going to see the destruction for -2 speed come in here from Momo, but it's possible. It's possible Philip doesn't opt that way. You know, back alley's not. It really depends how many resources we put into this. As Charles here, if we start putting in one with natures and stuff like that, we do have to start worrying about minusing the speed. But I mean, but for now, it's definitely not a very threatening move speed wise. The stun is going to be the biggest thing here, I think, because the big thing about attacking into Momo with these slow moves is that she's getting to just commit one foundation basically with rescue completed and her face to block every single move. But if you're stunning her across the way, you're getting to put down a lot more foundations across the turn and eventually create an opening for yourself to put some very real damage out there.
Yeah, for sure. The other thing that I was thinking when it comes to opening with uh the wind up is it does get an additional 2 damage as well, correct?
Very correct. It does
Yeah.
it yeah. Wind up punch is like one of the more slept on ultra rares I think of set 3, and I mean even I'm guilty. Even I'm guilty of sleeping on the card. But I think there are certainly a few characters where it has some very powerful applications, and Midoriya 2 is certainly one of them. He's got a lot of hidden synergy. The card very much has secret text. The card's also got powerful 3, which with our 1 momentum, if we can find an opening to make that unblockable, could mean real big damage.
Insane, we just discarded a Deku's notebook. Somebody wrote down Deku's notebook on their deck list. That makes me so incredibly happy.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think Decker's Notebook is a very real card. I
It's
think that is a
so
very real card.
cool.
I think even if you don't consider it one of the competitively stronger cards, it is such a cool card. It is so gnarly. The Faith Shield block is going to be pretty big here, allowing us to clear that card pool, leaving us pretty committed out though. Another if we jam another stun 2 move here, it could be very strong. Notably though, the wind up punch has to enhance to acquire stun 2 first. So not very ideal. We really want to come in and jam that stun 2 immediately.
Yeah, I think playing the wind up here still makes sense, even though we're now down to 7 foundations. Checks a 5, which is amazing. Commit the face down, make
Oh
it
yeah,
6.
fantastic.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, we've
So
discarded a card, so it gets the stun 2.
mhm. Now Philip kind of has a decision to make here, right? Because he can start committing resources, and at this point to block this, and at this point he does have to block it, but it could leave him vulnerable to like some Texas Smash nonsense afterwards. However, if he doesn't put resources towards blocking this, he's going to get his resources stunned out anyway, because we have acquired our stun 2 with the wind up punch.
I mean, this is a 5 mid for 11 by discarding 1 card out of Midoriya's hand.
Yeah, I think we have to I think we have to commit with rescue here. The hard part though is even after the committal and a destruction, there's still a world where this might not be very blockable with the one with natures coming in hot. If we double this, if he commits for -2 and destroys for -2, we can like double one with nature to just get it all back.
Correct. Yeah, there's that. At the same time, though, we do have some cheeky plays with we destroy the preparing for battle, right? Commit
Hmm.
the commit the quick create, add it into our pool minus damage. Be content to miss on this one. Oh, that was such a heads up play.
Yep.
Absolutely beautiful. You're so obvious. Put it back to printed speed, and then increase the damage. That's so good.
This is gonna. I mean, we're gonna get to powerful. We're gonna get to one with nature respond. We're gonna get to Deku on this. This is gonna be what, like
Wait,
a 9, like 15 damage move, maybe.
this card is powerful.
This card has powerful 3, Tamron Cardwell.
Oh wait, this card is powerful.
This card has powerful
Oh
3, Tamron Cardwell. I have to
no.
imagine that is why we chose not to open with this, even though we would have gotten. We discarded another wind up punch. What in the
He says
world
we
is in
have
our
them all.
hand? What in the world is in our hand? Oh my goodness. Um, wow. So like
Oh.
wow. So yeah, I have to imagine the powerful 3 is why we really didn't want to open with this. We wanted to get the back alley committing down Philip's board and try and create this scenario where even if we miss out on a little bit of value with the 8 or more foundation static of wind up punch, we get to jam the powerful 3 down Philip's throat. And I think that's really what we were aiming for here, is making this move unblockable.
You could have bet me $1 million that this card had powerful, and I would have lost.
It also has charge
It
for
does
some
have charge.
this card's got a, it's not quite back alley haymaker keyword soup, but it's like a keyword side salad, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, for sure.
So
There's
at
got
this
to be another
point
attack in
now,
our hand, right? We
oh,
discarded a wind up.
there has to be. Um, there's powerful 3, the aforementioned powerful 3 coming in hot. So this is now
16 damage wind up punch.
16 image wind up punch,
Woo.
and depending on the other move we have, what are we at? We're at, I think, 19 health is Momo.
I honestly don't know.
I think we landed a move last turn, but I couldn't be 1,000% sure. But I do think we've taken something on the chin here as Momo. But this is gonna be a really really big move regardless. And okay, there's a knife slice coming in. That is a 1 mid block. So it looks like this is, yeah. I think we took a 7 damage move. I do think Momo is at 19, but no promises here, guys. But either way, I'm pretty sure this is just unblockable because this is now what, a 5 speed move, and your block modifier has +3, so the block is essentially on an 8. So this is very much outside the realm of blockable at this point.
I think what we were supposed to do is destroy this preparing for battle, add it in for the -2, destroy another committed resource on our next move, because I mean obviously there's another move coming, and
Yep.
then build that card in as any sort of hope.
Ooh, okay. So there's the one with nature coming in at the cost of discarding our last attack, though. But we do have our passing the torch, so all we got to do is draw a nice move off of this passing the torch here, and I
This
think
is
we
a
can
weird
put,
gamble.
yeah, yeah. At the same time, though, if we don't do that, right, if the one with nature doesn't come in, we can check a 5 and block this. And I think we have put too many resources into this wind up punch to have it be blocked. I think we have to take this gamble.
Can we? We won with nature, didn't we?
We just did. We just did.
I guess. Huh.
Huh.
We
Yeah.
were stunned. I thought we double won with nature, but I guess
I
it was.
also thought we double one with natured to make that one unblockable. I was also in the
Yeah.
impression, but yeah, I thought we'd have one with natured at some point earlier on in the turn, but I suppose we just did not.
Interesting.
Yeah, so unfortunate that
Interesting.
that wind up punch was not able to get there, saved just by the skin of the 5 check. Very, very, very unfortunate for Charles. We really wanted that move to make a big connection.
Yeah, there are no dice currently marking or dictating what enhances have been played or not played. And so we'll just have to take the players at their word. Um, but I thought we definitely discarded 3 cards on that attack.
I also thought that we discarded 3 cards on that attack because we played 3 attacks and then we had no cards in our hand after. But I guess we discarded at some point earlier in the turn, maybe.
We only played 2 attacks. We played the back alley that got flipped, and then we played the wind up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
I thought we
discarded our last attack for Hardened Jab. Yeah, interesting. I
yeah.
definitely thought that we had double one with Natured there. But as you said, we've got to take the players at their value. That they do have a very very fantastic judge in the room with them. So
Yeah.
it is very very simple and very likely to assume that things are being played as they should. So there's Zero Gravity Lift is a big poke coming in here. This is going to help Philip really really stabilize here. We're going to get that throw damage in. We're going to get to use our Exciter for Blood. We're going to get to start finding and fishing for more and more cards.
Yeah, and it says that we get to kind of wombo combo a little bit later on in the game. I'm pretty sure we're using the Kevin Broberg technology of play. Uh, oh
Oh
no!
no, the second disconnect coming in for Charles here. Oh my goodness. Massively unfortunate. Massively unfortunate, man. We we really 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 hate to see it, but that is the nature of the webcam games sometimes.
And
And
he
man,
drew another so hot again.
yeah, we definitely drew a lethal turn there on the next one as well.
Wow.
Very unfortunate for our fledgling hero. We
Wow. I mean, I said it before. I'll say it again. This is it's rough to see, but it is what is. It's what's
Yeah.
needed to happen.
Yeah, this is the cutthroat life of the webcam. This is the cutthroat life of the webcam format. Unfortunately, as very cool as the convenience and the leisure of being able to play in the comfort of our own homes, in the butts of our chairs at our desks. Sometimes these unfortunate things come down like that, and it soils our otherwise very very good games, but still very good performances put on by both players regardless.